Hello again, this is Egg Chasers. I'm Tim, and on this video building up to the Six Nations 2023, I want to take a look at England's back row, which has got some question marks over exactly who is going to wear the shirt in Steve Borthwick's first game in charge, who's going to be in 6, 7 and 8, an issue further clouded by the fact that his vice-captain Courtney Lawes is injured, and Tom Curry already injured, one of the senior players and one of the best players in world rugby in the back row. Courtney Lawes injured in the Champions Cup game against La Rochelle last weekend. I was working that game actually, and his injury came as a surprise because when I spoke to Phil Dowson, the Northampton director of rugby, after the game, I asked him about what he knows on Courtney's injury, and he said it was just a tight calf. So I thought something that Courtney would shrug off. Clearly it's more serious than that. And once again, really rough luck for Courtney Lawes, an injury just before a big international window, and he's going to miss some game time. That said, does that affect Steve Borthwick's decision making in the back row? Because who did Steve Borthwick call up instead? Dave Ribbons, a lock, his Northampton teammate, which suggests, doesn't it, that Courtney Lawes was being considered more as a lock than a back row. Were we about to see Maro Itoje and Courtney Lawes reunited in the second row? Courtney Lawes hasn't played second row for his club, or for England for that matter, for quite some time. He obviously can do it and spent much of his earlier career in that role, but for Northampton, for England, for the Lions, he has been a back row for quite a while now. But was Steve Borthwick about to change it? Maybe, on the basis that Dave Ribbons has been selected. So with that in mind, let's have a look at the options at Steve Borthwick's disposal and what he might do in that first game against Scotland. You can see two players with a cross through them there, Tom Curry and Courtney Lawes, unavailable, leaving 6 main options. I guess you could have Ollie Chesham as a 7th option, of course, as a potential 6. He plays there for Leicester sometimes. Steve Borthwick used to pick him occasionally at 6 for Leicester. So you can't rule that one out, but these are the main 6 guys. 3 of them you'd think are going to be wearing a jersey against Scotland. Which 3? What do you think? Leave your comments. Whether it's a prediction or who you'd want to see, tell me, because it's really tough. It's really tough. So we've got Sam Simmonds and Alex Dombrandt on the top row there. 2 number 8s. You think one of those 2 is going to be wearing the 8 shirt. Admittedly, Lewis Ludlam has been playing 8 for Northampton recently and doing it really well. He's been in outstanding form, so I wouldn't rule out Lewis Ludlam being a surprise selection at number 8 either. One of those guys is going to be wearing the 8 jersey. My choice would be Alex Dombrandt. I think I could absolutely see Steve Borthwick going for Lewis Ludlam as number 8, because he's got that Jasper Wiese feel about him that Steve Borthwick brought to Leicester, or no, didn't bring him to Leicester, but loved him at Leicester, and he's got that all elbows and knees and just really nasty, abrasive player, nasty in the best possible way. So I could honestly, genuinely see Steve Borthwick picking Lewis Ludlam at number 8. I think he's going to go for I would go for Alex Dombrandt. I hope he goes for Alex Dombrandt, which leaves us 2 shirts left, each flank with. So that also takes Sam Simmonds out of the equation. Maybe he operates off the bench. So that for my mind leaves, tell me if you agree, leaves 2 shirts left between 4 players: Ben Earl, Lewis Ludlam, Ben Curry, Jack Willis. All of them can play 7 and have played 7. And in the case of Ben Earl, Jack Willis and Ben Curry, have done their best work at 7. Does that mean Lewis Ludlam is the top choice at blindside flanker? Quite possibly. Genuinely, quite possibly. Lewis Ludlam could be the man at 6. I think Ben Earl... I think Ben Earl has to start. I think he has to start. I think his form at club level demands it. I just think he is just all action. He's got a kind of David Pocock kind of vibe. Just all action everywhere. Really abrasive ball carrier. So explosive, handy at the breakdown as well. He's really good in defence. So I think Ben Earl starts. It's just what shirt he wears. I'm minded to say Jack Willis and Ben Earl on each flank. They can. I mean, we're getting towards 6.5 territory there with those 2, aren't we? Which I don't know if you want to go back there. with Robshaw and Haskell, 6.5s. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling that Lewis Ludlam is going to be in Steve Borthwick's back row because of the type of team Borthwick likes to set up. I think I would go for the jugular and go Jack Willis 6, Ben Earl 7, Alex Dombrandt 8. Potentially it's those two flankers and Lewis Ludlam at 8, and potentially it's Lewis Ludlam at 6, Ben Earl or Jack Willis at 7, and Alex Dombrandt at 8. But he'll probably go and throw in, probably be Ben Curry and Sam Simmonds in the back row after all of that. I guess without Tom Curry and without Courtney Lawes, I'm a little nervous, if I'm perfectly honest. It's one area where Scotland really attack is the breakdown. They've got some good players there. Scotland are England's bogey team, and in that first game at Twickenham, I think that there's a sense of optimism, like there's going to be a new change and it's going to be great new things for England. But Scotland are going to be coming to play, and they're going to be coming to spoil England's party again. And I'm going to be at Twickenham next weekend. I'm a little nervous, if I'm perfectly honest, and back row is part of the reason why. We're going into it not totally knowing what Steve Borthwick will do, what our best side will be, because we've got world-class players in Courtney Lawes, Tom Curry, unavailable. So I guess it gives an opportunity for some of these guys and people that are showing form, and I should embrace the positive of that. So that's my thoughts, if it made any sense. Did I come to a conclusion? Yes, I did. Jack Willis, Ben Earl, Alex Dombrandt, but I could quite happily put Lewis Ludlam in at 6 or 8. There's my thoughts. What's yours? Leave your comments. See you on the next video.